Hey guys, Southern Comfort here. I'm getting my first carrot harvest. It is October the 30th and I am getting my carrots already. I do plant my seeds a little early. I'm on the southeast coast of North Carolina, and as long as you keep them watered, they will do great. Some of the seeds might not come up and you can always resow, which is great because you don't want all your carrots to come up at one time. You want a harvest that you can munch onto, maybe for a salad, and maybe plant a couple of beds or so, and then that way you can get abundance. But usually I only plant this one bed right here. This is a 4x8 and it does wonderful. I get plenty of carrots. So we're into fall, and I usually plant in fall and spring. I like planting into the fall. They always say the carrots are sweeter, but if I plant early, then I always meet that window of harvest time that my carrots taste good. The garlic is up. Some of it's probably about 8-10 inches tall. I do plant it early. They usually say don't plant it into the ground till November, but I plant my early, and the reason I do that is because I leave some bulbs in there, and when I see those bulbs starting to spring up out of the ground, then I go ahead and plant my garlic, because that's telling me in my environment then they are ready to plant. Now this is grocery store garlic, the garlic you get out of the grocery store, and there's a couple elephant garlics in there which does super wonderful. And so this is my second season, or second harvest. This will be my third harvest as far as the garlic I bought from the grocery store. The bulbs get bigger the second year, and I get plenty of garlic. So this little bed is another 4x8, and I would say that's probably about maybe 6 feet, and I get all the garlic I need. So we're gonna walk around here early in the morning and just take a brief look into the greenhouse. A lot of things were planted early. I did have a time with getting my lettuce, but I finally got lettuce. So I planted some strawberries here that'll be transplanted hopefully later on. Just getting them going because they're so expensive into the grocery store. I was just totally amazed. $6 for one little plant. So I got a baby coming up there. I got another one coming up there. And then we got Cheers broccoli. And this is the spinach. I did have a hard time getting spinach to grow, but it does excellent into the greenhouse. I wanted it to grow here, but it really was our heat. Even though we're in October, we're going to be 80 degrees today. Into the greenhouse also, I planted carrots. These are hybrid carrots, sugar snacks. And so this is the first time I'm growing into the greenhouse. They was a little bit more difficult to get started, but they did take off. And the reason of that, I do believe, is because I have a shade cloth on that I'm trying to leave on into the greenhouse for the fall and winter and see how it does. Usually I'll go ahead and take it off, but our heat here, and plus two, I'm just experimenting to see, how long I can go with the shade cloth on. I do have grow lights, so that's going to help me out. I have one tomato plant that has tomatoes onto it, and this is a volunteer. And I had two more down here, and I decided to take them up because growing out of season can be a little bit more difficult, and I just decided, you know what, I just want to take those out so I can grow in season. My onions are already up. I've got onions up. Usually now is the time to plant them, but I try to do a little early. It does make it a little bit more complicated, but if you, get it going and keep trying and not give up, then you'll be able to grow a little bit ahead of season. This is chard. Chard has already been harvested one time. It's time to harvest it again. It's looking absolutely beautiful. Now this bed right here is enough for me to eat off of. Last year I had just a little section, maybe about 7 plants, and they gave me all the chard I needed because they grow to be big plants. So down here we got some cabbages. We finally got the cabbages going. And over here I'm growing celery, and it's just beautiful celery. I've never grown it before. That's going to be interesting. They say that celery tastes better if you grow it than from the grocery store. And then down here we have let's see, I believe these are cauliflower. I have to mark everything. And I believe this is, I'm hoping that's not a weed. You know, sometimes I planted seeds here lately and I get some things in it. And I'm thinking that's a cat skull Brussels sprout, but I'm looking at the leaves. I'm not really sure, but I have another one that's over here, so we'll see. Now this is my lettuce into my green stalk. And it won't be long, it'll be time to harvest some lettuce. I love growing into the green stalk. Last year I had this filled up. Now this is not completely filled up. It just has the plants that I was able to get up and get going. A lot of people had trouble getting their plants to grow this year, the lettuce, and a lot of other plants, but especially the lettuce. I noticed into the big box store, they just didn't even have any lettuce. It's just weird. So I believe this is the broccoli. I do have tags down here, but I'm trying to figure out what it is. Okay. I do use my tags. For some reason I didn't mark that one right. But maybe I picked it up wrong. But it might be cauliflower. Cauliflower and broccoli. I believe it's cauliflower, to be honest with you. I'm about pretty sure it is. So everything is looking pretty good. I'm super excited about getting my lettuce going. Now, if because of the heat, the lettuce will start to bolt. And I did have some to come up, but they're bolting early, and so I'm going to leave them there to see if I can get some seeds from them. The lemon tree is growing really big. I definitely learned something else. I was testing this year to see about, you know, the heat in my blooms, and it did knock them off. But the orange tree is always loaded down with tons and tons of blooms on here. But the heat, once again, a lot of them fall off, and it's a really good thing. There's no way the tree could hold all those blooms. Got me a marigold growing here, and here is my onions. Decided not to grow anything onto the trellis, and I'm taking the onions because they do get big, and the foliage falls over, and I'm just kind of prompting them up onto the trellis. This right here is a volunteer onion. I don't know, you know, you get onions and they get a top to them. You can cut the bulb off a little bit and put it in the ground and it'll grow foliage, which is great for eggs or just putting in dishes. And I have another one over here that's been here for a while, and I really love that because green tops is really super good into the grocery store. So I'm not sure about this one right here, whether I planted it. I'm gonna think it's just one of the onions from last year, and it decided to spring up. So this is my first cabbage right here that I planted. So all my cabbages should have been this big, but once again I had a hard time getting things to take off because of our heat here. Now check out this. I've got some lettuce, and that's a lot of lettuce at this point in time. They are kind of bunched up. These are romaine, and so it won't be long. I'll be trying to transplant these, and I'm gonna try to gently break them apart, and hopefully I won't have too much transplant shock. And the reason, you know, I put more seeds in there because I think this is my 4th, 5th time of trying to get lettuce to grow this year. Got some potatoes. These look like purple top potatoes. Planted other potatoes in there. I haven't seen anything. I'm not sure why I'm having a time with this bed down in here, but I did dig down here and see there's a potato right there. And the bed hasn't been watered or anything. It was just sitting there with the potatoes into it. But I did find one rotten one. But we've had some strange weather, and that can play effect. Now this is the lettuce that I'm trying to get to go to seed. And I've never done that before, but since the plant is up, and we'll see how it goes. I can wait to see about getting some lettuce here. I believe that this is romaine, and there's another one there. Now these leaves right here I can go ahead and harvest, and since I've got some carrots, I think I'm gonna go ahead and harvest those leaves off of there. This is romaine. I love growing romaine. That's why I said this is a lot of lettuce right here, a lot. But this is right now is ready to harvest, and so I'm more likely have a salad for lunch. And then here we have the gourmet lettuce, which I love. I really like that, which I do have some of that planted. I have romaine and Vivian and then gourmet. And then I got one plant that is called a speckle lettuce that did come up. And this is Rab broccoli that you can eat the broccoli leaves. It doesn't put out a head. So this has been harvested several times. And so I'll be harvesting it again soon. And then once again, we got some cabbages growing spaced out here. This is cauliflower. And I did make a mistake. This is Rab broccoli. You see the difference into the leaves. Well, it's cauliflower and then broccoli, but you can see the difference into the leaves. But even with the broccoli, they're more leafy. The aloe vera plant, this thing is heavy and it's huge, and I do nothing to it, and it needed to be repotted a year ago, and it's still making it here. And this is oregano. So like I said, I have to have my tags, but I did take the tag out this week, and then I was gonna kind of mark it so I can really remember what it is, because after a while it does fade, the marker that I was using. Now I do have outdoor markers, and that works great. Now we got oranges last year, and they were so sweet and so good. I do notice they're a little bit smaller this year. Last year was the first time we got oranges, but I'm really happy about that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 oranges on there. And we made orange juice last year, and it was like super good. I've been gradually, the garden is the chickens area now. They've been munching on it. That's the Mississippi peas. They made them down really good. I didn't get any butter beans or some beans on there, but they just didn't do anything. And so the chickens been all in there munching away. They really like the Mississippi peas. So, and I got some okra back there that I crossbreeded, and I'm gonna get the seeds off of it. The carrots on this, look, you can grow carrots into a container. These did not do as well, and I think it's because of the heat here. I really do. They didn't do as well, but and I probably didn't tend to them as much as I should have, but they just didn't. The soil has been amended, and this is supposed to be a broccoli. Well, I got 2 chickens that does not want to stay in. They're hard-headed, and if they wasn't females, I promise you they wouldn't be here at this point in time. But I'm hoping that they'll get older, and they're very smart, because they will wait and watch me, and then when they can't see me, they have a tendency to get out. So I don't really know where they're getting out at. Right now they're shut up because they did get in here. I put this fence around here. I had to put a fence around. It was kind of aggravating when they got all this area, a big section area to walk into and munch onto. But sometimes you get chickens like that. They're like dogs. They ever get out, they don't want to stay in boundaries. But all animals need boundaries. So they have, munched on these, jumped up here and ate them. Now these are supposed to be cabbage collards. Now I did buy these at the big box store because it just was not able to get around to planting some seeds. And I think I planted them really early too, but then I had some medical issues, so I just couldn't get to it. So I bought these at the big box store. But I declare, I think this is a collard. The color is different. It's growing different. And I have experienced that before, just, whether you buy seeds or buy a plant, but the color is just different. These are definitely ready to harvest. I've been waiting for us to get a good frost, but it won't be. I'm going to have to get in here and crop some leaves off so it won't overshadow the other ones. And I see something munching on that right there. I don't know if that was already there. It looks like kind of like a grasshopper. But when you start seeing, when you start seeing this, then it's definitely time, because they have a tendency to eat at nighttime, or they do eat at nighttime, and they will come back. The mustard is doing super wonderful, and it has been cropped 2 times already. In a couple more days or so, it will be ready to harvest again. So having it in this raised bed is a plus. I haven't noticed the insects. I have no dirt on my leaves. It makes it easy washing. This broccoli right here, I thought it was, for some reason, thought it was the rab broccoli, just the leaves. And I started picking, and they say you can eat the leaves. People's done that, and I never got around to it, but I kind of mixed them up into the rab broccoli leaves. So, and we're working on some more raised beds gradually. We got another one over here that's been sitting. So we got 2 more raised beds going on. This is the kale. The kale has been harvested a couple of times, and so it won't be long. It'll be time to harvest it again. And you know, that's really, I get a lot of kale from this little space right here, which is probably about almost 4 feet, say 3.5. Once again, I say I have radishes down here. You see the rabbit manure I've been putting in here, and I planted them early, and we've already harvested them. And this I thought also was a regular broccoli, and I see little broccoli spears down there, and that made me realize that what was going on. So this is not going to do anything. Picking those leaves like that, it just messed it up for some reason, but it's not going to do anything. And once again, because that's why I have to label. For some reason, I thought that I would be able to remember, but it didn't work out like that. So this is it. The fall greenhouse is doing super wonderful. Considering a lot of things, I didn't think I was going to be able to have anything growing into the greenhouse, but with a little perseverance and determination, you will have a harvest. See you on to the next video.